Bulma got saggy titties, baby. Dragon Ball Super. Only Dragon Ball Super, yo. I'm so excited that we finally got this chapter. Been waiting a grip to get my hands on this chapter. And yet again, Dragon Ball Super does not fail to deliver. Even after the spoilers, I'm still hype as ever. Chapter was still funny, crazy, and informative as ever. Like, let's jump into this. So already we got the progression, and granted you could argue that the pacing is a bit too fast for this, but whatever, we're getting places, we're moving along. We got to see Zuno and already got up out of there, and honestly, it's just really like that Toriyama humor. I'm really questioning how much involvement does Toriyama have between the wacky designs that keep on popping up, which is what Toriyama likes to do, and then the funny shit going on like with Zuno, like, gotta give him a little smooch to get your fucking wishes, like, yo. That was priceless. That was good. That was funny. Now, granted, Bulma was dumb as shit for what she did, and I ain't gonna lie, yo, Bulma, you ain't changed your ways since you were 16. Like, you telling Zuno you will do anything to get that wish. Like, yo, if Vegeta hears that shit, he's gonna fucking smack you to another universe. All right, like, don't ever do that again. And we found out about the Super Dragon Ball, so I'm kind of disappointed to a certain degree as far as like that there's only 7 Dragon Balls amongst both universes. Because I was hoping like, okay, after Universe 6 arc, we can then look for the Super Dragon Balls in Universe 7, but apparently there's only 7 amongst both universes. So, I mean, granted, I could stretch the search for the Dragon Balls a little bit further, but I was like, man, we could have a whole other arc looking for the Super Dragon Balls from our universe, you know, later on, but maybe this final Dragon Ball looking for it, whatever, will take some time. And Zuno was like a fucking dragon, because you can only ask him for a wish every year or so like that. Like, yo, they should have sent somebody like fit. Like, who would have been the most fit girl to go up in there and get like, yo, let me get 10 wishes, Zuno, and Zuno be like, yo, I give you like 20 wishes. Maybe Videl? Nah, fuck that shit. Screw all that noise. You should have sent 18. 18 would have get like 30 wishes, because 18 is still a hot mama jama. I ain't gonna lie, for a second there, I was screaming, plot hole, until I realized what was going on, because we seen Goku and Vegeta in the hyperbolic time chamber, and if I'm correct, now again, I'm not that knowledgeable between the differences of what was filler and what was canon in Dragon Ball Z, but I do remember something along the lines of, you can only go into the hyperbolic time chamber, and yes, I call it that. I know it's called the Room of Spirit and Time, something along the lines of that, but I call it the hyperbolic time chamber, and if I'm not mistaken, you could only go in there 2 times in a lifetime, and you could, you know, spend basically like a year in there or whatever. But I forgot the events of what happened in the Majin Buu arc, that Gotenks and Majin Buu destroyed the door. No, I think it was Piccolo actually, and there was no way for them to return to that place, so it was actually a new one, and it was actually, when I had to reread it, I was like, oh, the new hyperbolic time chamber, and apparently you could stay in there even longer, because they stood in there for 3 years, well, 3 days our time, 3 years in that time, so holy shit. And again, just seeing the difference in the characters is crazy. Like, this is a whole different Vegeta, and granted, this is, I guess, what his character has become ever since he, you know, proclaimed, like, Kakarot, you're the best and all that, so it kind of makes more sense for him to have humbled himself down to be like, alright, you know what, I will train with Kakarot, like, this is fun to me and shit like that, because Goku and Vegeta training for 3 years straight, like, what the fuck? I mean, it's cool as shit, and I hope the anime extends on that. That's something that I would love to see them Super Saiyan Blue squaring off and shit like that. That looks sick. Yo, Toyo Taro and whoever else is handling right now the manga, you're doing your shit, bro. Let's get this out the way, though. Let's get it out the way, because it wouldn't be Dragon Ball Super if you didn't have to complain about something regarding Son Gohan. Fuck you, Gohan. Seriously. Like, your father ain't going to be around forever. Neither is Vegeta. Neither is the strongest warriors. Stop having sex with books. Stop the education shit, because if there's no planet, then you can't be a fucking scholar now, can you, buddy? Huh? Like, I am so tired of that. Fuck Chi-Chi, the greatest villain in all of Dragon Ball, for ruining what could have been the strongest warrior of all time. This dude could have been like a Super Saiyan 20, Super Saiyan Blue times 20, some crazy shit. But Chi-Chi ruined that. When Videl said, oh yeah, he had some scholar thing, and Goku was like, that little shit, I know he wanted to say, fuck that little motherfucking cunt. That's why I got Goten. That's why I got other kids. That's why I'm gonna make a better version of you, dog. But seriously, like, you know, I thought after what happened with Frieza's resurrection, Gohan would have wisened up like, yeah, if there's no planet, then I can't be a scholar. Let me go train. But instead, he's gonna be a fucking cunt, and like, I like books, mate. Tell that to the next villain that shows up on Earth and tries to destroy it. Say, hey man, I like books. Will you stop? And then Monaka, aka the one of great nipples. Like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, I still am not fond of his design. I'm still not fond, especially finding out that, yeah, it's straight up a nipple thing. Like, hopefully he has a really sick transformation, but I'm imagining even if he has a really sick transformation, it's still gonna be like giant nipples and shit. Like, Jokes in this one were funny, except one joke that was too Japanese for any of us to understand. It was like a Japanese game that they were playing, like the name game, like that was like, whoa, I just looked at it, I was like, okay, it's a Japanese game, I don't understand it, I'm gonna move on. So in regards to the fact that like Dragon Ball is loved, you know, worldwide, I think maybe putting in these jokes that are so low-key that we won't understand was maybe like, I don't know whose decision was that to throw that in there, and I hope in Dragon Ball Super Anime they kind of take that out, because it's like, we're not gonna fucking understand that, we can't laugh with y'all. And there was something weird about those two Supreme Kais of the Universe 6, because it was kind of like, yeah, sure, like, are they actually the Supreme Kais of Universe 6, or were they just taken by surprise? What was up with that? That was kind of a little awkward and weird. And then, I mean, that ending though, like I said in my spoiler video, I'll talk about it again, them Universe 6 fighters, I am hyped. We got that cooler looking motherfucker. I think his name is Heat, if I'm correct. Like, yeah, it might be Heat, and then the Frieza dude is like Frost, something like that. It looks like Heat and him might be like maybe the same race, or a race that had problems, something like that, because like Heat and Frost, there's something that kind of correlates the two together. So again, I'm thinking that Heat might either be, because people were talking about that Xenoverse character that he looks similar to him or whatever, but I think he might be like the cooler, in canon cooler, or something like that. Maybe that's something that they really wanted to work into the story. And then of course you have the robot guy. There's theories running around that there's a Super Saiyan inside of there, there's a Saiyan inside the robot or something like that. I know people are going, Broly. If it was going to be Broly, we would have seen Broly at this point. Like, I highly doubt we're going to see Broly at all. So, I mean, I'm a Broly fan myself, but Broly fans, we gotta get over it. He's not coming to canon. It sucks, but it is what it is. And then that Winnie the Pooh looking motherfucker, I mean, don't really care for his design either. The big build with the small arms, kind of like Majin Buu. And Kabe, baby. I can't fucking wait for Kabe. I hope it's a girl. I'm still betting on it's a girl. We gotta see, though. And with all that being said, fantastic chapter. I mean, granted, the shit with Gohan can kiss my ass. Like, Gohan, you fucking failure. The Japanese joke was a bit too much. Like, we don't understand that. It should have been a little more of a universal joke that we could all understand. Maybe just Master Roshi grabbing 18's tits would have been fine. And Bulma derped totally bad to, like, you know, not get the exact location of the final Dragon Ball or whatever, but then we wouldn't have a future arc to, you know, expand upon that. So, with all that being said though, aside from those small things that I mentioned, everything else was fantastic. The pacing was really fast, but not too fast to the point where it's like, because personally, save it for the anime. That's fine. You know, in the manga, I want to get to what we fucking came to see, and the Universe 6 fighters being introduced at the end of the chapter, Goku and Vegeta training in the new hyperbolic time chamber, going to and getting done with the whole Zuno thing. Like, a lot of shit went down. This was a very good to a great chapter. 8.5 to a 9, baby. Dragon Ball Super on fire. Let me know what you thought of this chapter. First of all, do you think that Bulma was down to give Zuno some head to get that location? Also, what do you think about the new hyperbolic time chamber? How long do you think they would potentially stay in there? Was it just going to be like a 3-day thing this time, or maybe it's unlimited? And what do you think about the new Universe 6 fighters? Is there a connection between the cooler looking motherfucker and the Frieza dude, and what's up with that? I mean, again, I'm kind of tired of Frieza, but maybe this could be a different twist on it and something interesting. And yo, bro, thoughts of the chapter. I'm fucking hyped. It lived up to the expectations of waiting for it. It's like, yeah, Dragon Ball Super on fire. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed anything about this video, make sure to drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.